All right, course creators, we are joined by Takumi Shigen. He has grown by 161,000 followers in just 30 days on Instagram. I was telling Takumi just earlier, like it's weird to say that. It's like it almost sounds like too good to be true. Like
it's clickbait. It's clickbait.
But it's real. He has exploded on Instagram in just 30 days. In June of 2022, he was sitting at around 10,000 followers, and then from December 25th till today, he's grown by 164,000 followers. So I had to hop on a call with Takumi. He's put together a really good presentation on his 4 pillars for creating this Instagram content, along with his 3-step framework of how he's able to consistently pump out organic content to grow a following. Takumi, without further ado, man, let's jump into your presentation.
Perfect, man. Let's jump into it. In 2023, we need to understand that on Instagram, people are scrolling for 4 main reasons: educational style content, inspirational, validation, and entertainment styled content. And if you want to grow in 2023, what I've seen is you have to serve at least one of these pillars. If you want the best results, you want to try combine these together. So for example, there's this creator named Luca Peterson. He's in the same sort of niche that I am when it comes photography and filmmaking. So he's creating a lot of like how-tos, top tips, and those styles of short form videos, but he's really good at adding a more entertainment aspect to his content. So he does like he cracks jokes, he's implementing his personality, and that's why he's had this rapid growth. Another example would be this account here. So again, they do a lot of how to edit photos, how to edit videos and stuff like that. So real educational style content, but then they are really good at sort of implementing an inspiration aspect to their content. So as we can see from some of the photos here, they have that sort of like couple goals, travel sort of lifestyle inspiration that they're implementing into their content strategy. Just really think about the 4 pillars that you want to target. And majority of the people that are going to be watching this video, we're all sort of course creators and in the education space. So we're definitely going to be creating content that's education based. But if possible, try to think of ways that you can add any of these other pillars just to sort of get that rapid growth that we're looking for on Instagram.
As course creators, a lot of people feel like they have a hard time being entertaining at the same time adding value. How have you been able to crack that code?
So a lot of it was like just coming down to like, I think camera confidence as well, just doing it repetitively, you get better on camera. And then the more comfortable you get on camera, the more you can start implementing your personality into it. Also just the way you edit it as well. So you can add like funny memes or just, we want to try to implement our personality within the content. For me, that's sort of the best way to do it. Just repetitive and just constantly creating new videos and just getting better on camera. So, okay. So the first tip that I will be running through is the PAG framework. This is my 3-step Reels framework. It consists of personal content, which is going to be content that helps you connect with your audience. So this is going to be things like your story, transformations, and then also your opinions as well, just to show that you are a human being, you are relatable. Next, we have the authority content. So this is going to be content that helps provide value, builds trust with your audience. And this is going to be your how-tos, your top tips, and then also any social proof that you have. And then finally, we have the growth content. So that's going to be focused on driving traffic to your account. And examples of this is going to be, following trends, covering broader topics, and then talking about current news events and things like that. So when it comes to the growth content, you want to think of it as the top of the funnel. So the main goal with it is to just get people to come to your account. You may not get many followers right off the bat with it, but it's driving traffic to your profile. Examples of that would be this video here, which is basically a short video that I made showcasing how aperture affects your photos. With this one, it was a short video. I think it was about 10 seconds, but I used like a trending song and it was just a more sort of creative style entertainment edit as well. And as we can see, that has nearly 5 million views on. The next piece is the authority content, and this is used to provide value, nurture your audience, and then also build trust. And an example of authority style content would be this one here, which I created, was how to take better photos with your smartphone. It was 3 tips. As we can see, 2.2 million views as well. So a lot of followers came from this video, because if we can get an authority styled content piece to go viral, that's where you're going to get a lot of growth, because we're providing value, but it's also going out to the masses as well. So a lot of people will follow from that.
With that specific post, Takumi, how are you, when you say authority, were you just showing your results and your credibility?
So within the edit, I was showcasing photos that I've taken with my content. So that's showing my skills and stuff like that as well. On top of that, it's 3 tips, my 3 best tips. So I'm providing value to them as well, and just showcasing that, listen to me, these are some of my results, but it's all happening within the edit as well.
I would say that filmmaking and photography, some of these aesthetic niches, it is a little bit easier to show your authority visibly. It's harder sometimes in different niches like course creation where I'm not going to show you anything that looks beautiful. It's more of what I'm saying. It's my authority of a result that I found inside of a cool funnel that I just built, or how I made 6 figures with a $27 offer. How do people perceive authority in general? In Takumi's space, his authority is being represented in a visual manner.
Okay, yes. So going on to the next piece, which again was the personal content. So this is used to create a connection and community with your audience. We need to understand that with the personal style content, it's probably going to perform the worst. Like you're not going to get those vanity metrics like likes, shares, and all that kind of stuff, but it has the most depth with your audience. So an example of personal content would just be this video tweet that I created. It's sort of showcasing my story. Within this story, I'm mentioning, at the time I had no following, no direction in life, no idea what I was doing. So it's relatable to people that are maybe just starting out with content creation, that are lost in the process and things like that. So yeah, once you hit all of those 3 pillars, growth, authority, personal, ideally we want to get raving fans to be coming out of the funnel. So in terms of the actual production process, so how I like to do it is I focus on creating one long form piece of content per week. So that could be a YouTube video, newsletter, a new course training for my students, basically anything that is rich in content. And then from there, I will condense it and break it down into as many short form pieces as possible. So for example, with this YouTube video, it was a video that I created 5 tips to take better low light photos. So what I did was I took all 5 tips and used each tip for its own separate video. And I was able to get 5 reels with that. Once you've got the 5 pieces of content there, I then took the key points out of that and created 3 Twitter tweets as well. So it's all about like sort of maximizing the content that we're creating. I like to script out my content word for word. So I'll script it all out and then read it off a teleprompter. That's for my YouTube videos. For my shorts, I script it out, but I don't really look at a teleprompter for that. But since I script it out word for word, I'm then able to take all that text and then create it into a blog post for my website as well. So from one long form piece of content, I'm able to create all these micro pieces of content.
So what I personally found with long form content is it's kind of hard to extract really good pieces of nuggets out from it. It's really convenient to take a 15-minute video and just chop up like 5 60-second versions from that long form. What I've personally found in my experience, there are some cool gold nuggets I can take out of that, but I found a lot more success with my content that I post on Instagram when I create content and I script content that's specifically being used for a short somewhere. I'll repost it to TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, etc. But by scripting it out and I'm saying, okay, I'm going to start this video with a really strong hook and I'm going to end with a really strong ending point that can, loop really seamlessly. And by creating content purposefully and intentfully that way, I found more success. But what's your take on that? Because it seems like some of your content is scripted to be just the short version rather than something you took out of a YouTube video.
Yeah, so what I mean about the long form piece is I'm not really just stripping it straight or like raw cut from the actual long form video. Since I script everything for the long form content, I have a bunch of text. So then what I'll do is I'll take one tip and then I have to condense it into a short form video. So I'm sort of remolding it in a sense. Like the concept is already there from the long form content, but then I just push it in and condense it into a way where it fits a 1-minute video or 40-second video on Instagram. So yeah, that is the actual production process that I follow. For the next tip, this is a bit more tactical on, I guess, the type of content to create, but it is to create controversial content. So I got this idea from just watching the recent outbursts from like Kanye and Andrew Tate. Whether you like them or not, like they're very smart in the way they do things. Obviously, I don't want to be as controversial as them. I was thinking, how can I implement some of the strategies they use into my content? An example of this would be this short form video that I made, which was Canon versus Sony. So there's a cold war between Canon users and Sony users. So it's comparing them. But then within the caption, I mentioned that Sony's better because I'm a Sony user. So I just started that conversation. As we can see, this video has gotten over 800,000 views. It starts a conversation within the comments. Like a lot of people are going back and forth in my comments saying Canon's better, Sony's better. So creating content that starts a conversation.
Yeah, that's a perfect example of polarizing contents. They're like brother and sister fighting. It's like oil and water, Canon and Sony. Like it's just this funny kind of feud that is just always going on in the filmmaking world. And so Takumi took advantage of that and exploited that polarization and that controversy in the filmmaking world. You guys have some of that in your spaces.
Create content that starts a conversation and don't be afraid to voice your opinion. There is going to be a lot of hate in the comments. People are going to comment saying, you're an idiot or whatever it is. So if you don't have the thick skin, maybe don't do this. But for me, it's been working really well. So I think it is it's a strategy to use lightly. Obviously there's a thin line with it. You don't want to become too controversial where like you can lose opportunities with that. It's more about just tiptoeing that line, I think. Cool. So moving on to secret number 3, and that is to use tools and templates to speed up your workflow. These are some Instagram carousels and also stories templates that I've personally created in Photoshop. I can go into Photoshop and all I need to do is change the text, change the colors, and it just speeds up my workflow very quickly. So that's been helping a lot just to post daily with these type of content pieces. Another one that I use every day is my content planning system within Notion. We can see all the different type of content that I'm currently working on and where they are in the production process. So I've broken it down into idea, scripting, filming, editing, ready for post, posting, and published. All the scripts and everything opened. All I got to do is click these cards and then all my scripts and stuff are within here. I have some editing resources as well. So websites and tools for generating ideas, for scripting, graphics, and also I have a short form video template as well. So this is what I sort of follow when I'm scripting my short form videos. So I go for the idea and then I test out the ideas. I try to write 10 different content ideas each time that I'm scripting because I personally like to batch create. So I'll batch all my scripting, I'll batch all my shooting, and I'll batch all my editing as well. That's how I personally like to do it.
And you'll probably laugh at the way that I do this. After seeing the way that Takumi does it, you guys will laugh at this, but this is my workflow of scripting content. So I just use Apple Notes, right? Where I come in here and this is all of my TikTok content. So you can see I have a lot of different videos. A lot of these are just ideas that I have. And I just come back and I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these 6 videos I had stacked up and I finished scripting and then I just knocked them all out in one day. And like a productivity standpoint, it's really powerful to batch your work together. So all of your scripting takes place at once. All of your editing takes place at once. Your filming's at once. Whereas some people are scripting one video, filming it, editing it, scripting, filming, editing it. It's not nearly as productive and effective that way.
When I'm scripting content, I use Pro Writing Aid and the Hemingway editor, and these just help make sure like my grammar's on point. Hemingway editor allows you to make your scripts concise, because another thing that I see a lot of creators make, especially in the education space, they create these videos where it's so like, it's too much information in a 1 minute video. Yeah, it's too much. Like it's, and they're using big fancy words and things like that. And people just get confused, you know what I mean? So having the Hemingway editor and just making my content, I try to go for like a grade 5 readability, meaning like if a grade 5 person read it or heard it, they'd understand what's going on. For graphics, for those of you who don't have any graphic design background, Canva, this is what I'm using to actually create these slides for this presentation. It's great. It's free. They got a bunch of templates. Highly recommend. If editing is holding you back, then I highly recommend just outsourcing it. Like it's a lot more affordable than people think. Having an editor is going to be a game changer when staying consistent and just taking that load off your back. Like you've mentioned it before, Stockton, where majority of the people that are probably watching this video, like you don't have a video editing background like me. So you don't need to be doing this. Like you can outsource this. People can do it better than you, faster than you, and it's very affordable. So I actually hired an editor, I think back in November, and that's just been helping me stay consistent, because I'd go through these content sprints where I'll be like, okay, I'm posting every day for the next 30 days and I'll start to get traction. But then by day 30, I'll just burn out and then I just won't end up posting for another month. It's hard to create content every day and then also manage your business, have a life and all that kind of stuff. So having an editor was a game changer for me. And I wish I did it earlier. It was very hard for me to give that creative control to someone else because I wanted it to be a certain way. You just got to train your editors, like train them to the way that you want. It's going to take a little bit of time at the start to get them editing the way you want to, but in the long run, it's definitely worth it. So
I think the only way for you to grow as course creators is you have to outsource your editing. It is the number one. It's not number 2 or 3. It's the number one bottleneck of me helping all these course creators in our group. It's the number one bottleneck I see you guys struggle with that's preventing you from either launching your course or making money with it. You guys are editing, slaving away on Premiere Pro, trying to edit your videos, and you're moving so slow. OnlineJobs.ph is probably the only other one I'd add to that list, Takumi, to get virtual assistants who are editors. You can find an editor for about $2.50 per hour, a range of people that you can find to edit your videos for you.
Moving on to the triple threat funnel. So this is something that I recently did through Instagram, and it's been a game changer for me. Basically, with this funnel, I was able to generate 1,050 leads. I was also able to grow my YouTube account by nearly 500 subscribers. I also made $400 in sales without promoting anything, because I'm currently in the process of migrating all my stuff from Kajabi and ThriveCut into Course Creator 360. So a lot of my funnels and stuff weren't set up. So I'm pretty confident that if they were all set up by now, and when I ran this funnel, I would have definitely made more money if I promoted it more and stuff like that. With this funnel, I didn't even mention any of my products, but they actually sold just organically from people going through my YouTube description. Basically, what this funnel consists of is, the first thing you're going to do is create a YouTube training. If you don't have YouTube, then you can just create a free training and just post it on a landing page if you want. To create that triple threat funnel, create a YouTube video, something ideally that has 5 to 7 tips within that YouTube video. So for what I did was camera settings for beginners. And then within this video, I was teaching, like the top 5 camera settings you need to know to start taking professional photos. And once you have that video, you're going to post it on YouTube. From that YouTube video, you're going to break it down into as many short form videos as you can. So for me, I did 5 short form videos. So one for shutter speed, aperture, ISO, histograms, and white balance. And the key thing to do here is at the end of the video, so for your call to action, you want to say, DM me a keyword to get access to a free training. So what I did was I set up a DM automation within Course Creator 360, where if anyone messaged me settings, the word settings, then they would get this automated message here, pretty much saying, hey, so excited for you to attend my free training. Here's what you're going to learn. If you want access to it, all you need to do is just put your email down below, and I'll also send some free bonuses. Because since we're sending these people to just a YouTube video that anyone can sort of watch, adding some free bonuses will sort of justify the reason you're getting their email. And a pro tip when doing this is to use the website called Link Twin. But what you can do is you can put your YouTube link within it, and then it will generate a YouTube link that opens up the video in the YouTube app. If you just post the YouTube link, and if people from the phone click on it, it's going to open up YouTube in the internet
Safari
browser. Yeah. And then they'll
Gotcha.
have to sign in to engage or subscribe or anything like that.
Gotcha. Amazing, man. Let me just show everybody your automations that you created inside of Course Creator 360, just so they can see. This is his one automation that he made. So on all 5 of these, you're saying, DM me the word settings and I'll send you over blah, blah, blah. Posted 5 videos, and every single one of those has the call to action of settings being the word. And he's generated 1,600 leads from those 5 videos. So people have been messaging the word settings, and then he sends them over an Instagram DM saying, hey, just enter your email below and I'll send it over. So then people enter their email, and once they do, he's generated a lead, which is 1,600 leads, which, guys, by the way, to put that into perspective, for a full-time filmmaker, we got on average about $2 to $3 cost per leads. Takumi just generated $3,200 worth of leads. Had he run this as an ad on Facebook or Instagram, he would have had to have spent $3,200 to generate that many leads, and he did it for free on his Instagram channel. You guys are missing out on a lot of the glorious opportunities there is to generate leads just with your free following. Hope you enjoyed that clip taken from our main course, Course Creator Pro. To see the full version and dozens of more interviews from 6, 7, and even 8-figure course creators, click the link below to join Course Creator Pro. And if you'd like to set up Instagram automations like the ones you just saw Takumi using, you can also click below to join a free 30-day trial of our software, Course Creator 360. This is the ultimate all-in-one software built for course creators, replacing softwares like Kajabi, Teachable, MailChimp, ActiveCampaign, Zapier, Calendly, ManyChat, and so much more. But that is it for this video. Look forward to seeing you in either our program or our software or both, and we'll see you in the next one.